If you're thinking about moving to Rochester, Minnesota, but you are unsure as to what to expect, in this video, I'm going to share with you 11 things that you probably don't know about living here. Number 10 is one of my favorite things about living here, so make sure you stick around. Number 1 is that Rochester has over 142 parks and several trails. This is great because it gives you a lot of options, whether you have kids, you want to bring them to a park, or maybe you want to go for a jog or bicycling, or just go for a nice walk. There's a lot of green space and things to do here in Rochester. Number 2 is that we have a lot of really good ice cream options. My favorite place is called Flapdoodles Ice Cream, and it's a really fun spot. Kids love it, and the ice cream is amazing. Another great place for gelato is called Chocolatier Stem. This place is located over in downtown, kind of hidden a bit, but it has really good ice cream. I lived in Rome for many months and had tons of gelato, and trust me, this place is awesome. And the third spot is a newer spot. It's called La Michoacana. It's a Mexican ice cream place. I haven't been there. I'm gonna go pretty soon, but from what I've heard in the reviews, it's really good. So if you love ice cream, Rochester has your back. Number 3 is employers. So obviously Mayo Clinic is the biggest employer here in Rochester, but there's a lot of other options that you can have if you're coming to Rochester. So the Rochester Public Schools, there's IBM, City of Rochester, Olmsted Medical Center, Olmsted County, there's Magnolia's, Spectrum, Crenlo, and there's many other great small businesses. So if you're coming to Rochester and maybe your significant other is working at Mayo and you're looking for opportunities, there's definitely job options here in Rochester for you. By the way, my name is Joe Slide. I'm a realtor with Casa Real Estate, brokered by eXp Realty. Welcome to my channel, Living in Rochester, Minnesota. My goal is to share with you everything that you need to know about Rochester, Minnesota, so that when you move here, you can make Rochester feel like your new home. Number 4 is homes here in Rochester, Minnesota have basements. 10 years ago, when I moved to Rochester from Florida, that's right, I moved from Florida, basements were a new concept for me, and I'm very happy that we have basements here in Rochester because it's additional space, whether it's a bedroom you can have, family room, a space for the kids to play in is awesome. So, but if you've never had basement before, a new concept. So I'm sure you will enjoy it. Number 5, real estate here in Rochester, Minnesota, I have found to be less volatile. Compared to other bigger cities and bigger metros, home prices are usually a little bit more volatile. Obviously, prices here in Rochester have gone up in the last several years. This past year, with interest rates going up, obviously that's been a little bit different. But overall, I feel that the real estate market here in Rochester is a little bit more stable. So when prices go up, right, nationally, here in Rochester, they do as well, but not to the same degree. And then likewise, when prices go down here in Rochester, that can happen, but there's less volatility, and that's one of the things that I like about Rochester in terms of the real estate market. And also the real estate market here in Rochester is more affordable than bigger cities and bigger metro areas. Number 6 is about shoveling snow. So obviously we get snow here in Rochester, it gets cold here, and when there's snow, you have to shovel it. So for me, that was a new concept 10 years ago when I moved from Florida. But I realized that shoveling snow is a great workout, good way to be out, exercise. Usually when you're shoveling, when we get a lot of snow, there's other neighbors that are also shoveling, kind of a nice time to socialize. Oftentimes you get help from your neighbors, or you go and help your neighbors. So for me, it's kind of a fun time. I will also say that if you buy a corner lot home, keep that in mind that it's more sidewalk that you need to shovel. So that's kind of a pro tip, something to consider. Number 7, there is no sales tax when you buy clothing. So if you like to shop, you will be pleasantly surprised about this. Number 8, Minnesota does have state income tax, which I know is not very exciting, but on the flip side of that, property taxes here in Rochester and Minnesota are lower than if you lived in a state that didn't have a state income tax. So I guess that's the benefit of that, but something that you should know. Number 9 is that Menards will become your favorite home improvement store. Yes, we still have Home Depot and Lowe's, and you can go there, but Menards is a great place to buy home improvement products and materials. You will also become very familiar with Shields, which is an apparel and sporting goods store, and they just have everything. It's a great place to go shop. And then also Fleet Farm, because at Fleet Farm, if they don't have it, you don't need it. Number 10. All right, so this is one of my favorite things about living in Rochester, and that's the commute. Commute times here are about 16 minutes on average compared to the national commute, which is about 26 minutes. This means that you get to do more in your day. You don't have to be stuck in traffic. You drive less, so you spend less on gas. And I think it's one of the great things about Rochester. And number 11 is the Minnesota nice vibe here in Rochester. I mean, I've lived in Florida, New Jersey, New York, Colombia, South America. I lived in Rome, Rome, Italy. So I've lived in several different places, and I must say that people here in Rochester are very nice, very helpful. Not that they are not in the other places I've lived, but overall, there's definitely that Minnesota nice culture and willingness to help, especially in the winter. Because in the winter, you know, sometimes people need help with snow, and I found that for the most part, people are always willing to help. Let me know in the comments below which one of these things you found the most surprising, or if you live here in Rochester, Minnesota, let me know what you think is something that people moving here should know. And if you found this content helpful, please like and subscribe so that other people can benefit from watching this video as well. Thank you so much.